knocked off everybody else. What kind of dribble was that?
What a play! What a play!
This is sick. Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on, man. Wow.
Danny Grant's chin, they both go down. 4-on-4. The floor spread. And George flexing. Cephalosha in transition. Oh, Paul George! Punishing. Cephalosha's attempt never got
in mid-December. 2 seconds to go. George, it'll count. Got it! PG on time!
Facing to what they do on the offensive end.
Favors a free agent to be as Exum throws it away. George slinking ahead and powering it down.
Hearing the same thing. Offensive rebound favors. Offensive rebound favors.
Paul George knocking it down. George in the corner. Got by. Goes to the rim. Throws it down. Cannon and a foul. Boy, how tough is it to thread passes against this Thunder defense? George, that is an and one continuation. Counted enough.
George off the fake. Oh, he is caught.
Shooter comes up to set the screen. George with the three. That is good. Paul George. Kill the Thunder with numbers. Shooter drops it off. George elevates and detonates here. The turnover.
Blocked. Diallo swats Durant, tried to go behind the back. It ends up in the hands of George. Reverse stuff.
Here come the Thunder off the steal. The lob, Jeremy Grant yet again.
Pressure on the Nets.
Lob ball, Paul George elevates. It's fourth quarter.
Look at that. This just hung up there. Had elevation. Hang time.
Assertively into the paint. Now brings it back out. Adams. Paul George sizing it up, hitting a three. Now George is posted up outside with Jackson. Use the speed. How about Paul George for the two-handed? 17-0 now. Westbrook creates another one. This time it's George on the other end and the windmill.
George too, Mike.
Oh, beautiful pass and George with the slam.
Here comes George snaking his way into Aldridge. Got to think Paul George has to get a touch at some point, and he does. The three ball quickly. Got it! And one! My George! That was an incredibly great shot. Clutch. Paul George now with 30 points.
Against the Pelicans as the Thunder have a big lead heading into the fourth quarter. And how about Nerlens Noel? Another finish at the rim. George wants another three. Oh my goodness, Paul George just cannot miss. For Birch.
And that's what they've been doing. They've been putting him in tough situations.
Patterson the trailer. Off the feed from George. For his fourth consecutive win. 11 out of the last 12 games. George, the hesitation, takes the bump, and it drops it. Adams clears space, Lamb falls down. George backs up behind him.
For Porzingis knocked away by George. He'll go the other way and slam it at the buzzer. They're not going to use it. George with 5. George drives over Gobert. It's good with 0.8 of a second left.
Unbelievable team player. It's just you have to make him score the basketball.
Moses pushing.
Paul George hammers in a two-hander.
5. Ferguson will drive. George against an expiring shot clock gets his own back and scores.
The weapons that kid has in his toolbox are incredible. Paul George!
9th season out of Fresno State. All-star again. What a nice Euro step. Takes it in and puts it down.
3 for the first time in their brief history here in Oklahoma City since the move from Seattle.
Surprised they're not putting anybody on the ball here. They're going to double team Dennis Schroeder, but they get it into Paul George. Has time to take a dribble, pulls up for 3 and knocks it down. And Adams was wide open on the inbounds pass. That's plenty of time to get it to Paul George.
Boy, look at this here. 3 white shirts.
Off the backboard. And Grant with the exclamation point. The Thunder have been defending him well here tonight. Paul George to catch fire 3. That is good. Jeremy Lamb, there's a turnover. Good pressure on the ball. Paul George waits, hesitates to the rim and goes up. Boy, Michael, they must have hurt you a couple of minutes ago. I think that you said, what, pick up the pace?
Absolutely. Pick up the pace.
And George
By Torrey Craig, who held him to 1 of 12 on threes in their first meeting. George, what a beautiful finish, just to collect it.
up ahead. Mitchell runs right into Paul, but Paul went up vertically. No good. George spins and floats it up and in.
Can't connect, and George with the rebound. Lob for Adams, who again was running the floor.
George, little shake and bake, nails the three-pointer as he falls down.
Here's George, puts it on the floor, gets past 2 guys, stuffs it on the freak.
Way off. As Noel has to save that pass. Setting up another George Trey. George sizing him up. Boy, we've seen that go down so many times, but he saves it out of bounds. And it sets up a T-Bird trip.
George. O'Neal goes down. George.
Paul George. Just great defense.
And he's going to get a chance. Well, no, he's going to give it up is what he's going to do.
Without him, there is 0 shot clock. Oh, Paul George making a statement early.
Off the rim. Rebounded by George. Peeks at the clock. George fires at the horn. He's got it.
6 times for 10 points. Thunder 4 times for 6. George, straight line drive.
A 50-50 win for Felton, and here comes the Thunder running again. George set by Adams for
came out announcing that he was gay and the first executive in any major professional sport.
I don't know how a guy can wipe another guy out in front of the official. No George be made.
Okay, fine, make him angry.
George. Here we go, step back 3.
The rebound, a little bit of time here for the Thunder. As he will launch it from half court, and it goes.
That clock is under 10 seconds.
Westbrook to George. George with the 3, and he got it with 6.
Another one to go.
And how about the defensive play? Schroeder charges ahead, lays it up and in. How did Terrence Ferguson know to step out like that? Is that the play or is that just a feel for the game? Speaking of feel for the basketball, great defensive play. Now finds Grant. Grant, some space, lays it up and in.
Easily taking that.
Schroeder navigating around. George left open, that 3. That's going to rattle home. And beating you in an array of ways. And now another steal. Paul George got one man to beat, but he leaves it up for Jeremy Grant. He was playing in the first half. Holiday, good defensive player on him.
You got the right guy with the basketball.
Got to the rim, counted in the foul. The Thunder inching closer up ahead. George soars and throws it down. Get above the rim. Of course, and Tom Thibodeau
Kind of set Luka Doncic up, and watch out. Here we go.
George.
And now you want to play with pace. Don't allow the Spurs to set up their defense.
Again for the lead, and George gives the Thunder the lead, 60. And Aminu, came up and got blocked by George.
The field here in the first quarter. Kyrie taking on the defensive challenge. Paul George just that much better.
4 on the 24, George. Count it, and the foul. Chance for...
To Jones by mistake. Look out. Jones on the move. Paul George out of nowhere. Blocked that shot. It's out of bounds.
7 of 10 3-point shooting. Paul George for 3. Good it goes, and it does.
9-10 third quarter to dominate the Clippers in the second half. How about Paul George?
5 for 18 from the field. 1 of 10 from 3-point range. Beautiful pass.
Done tonight. They've denied the drive. Oh, that's a pretty fancy drive.
As the Thunder have just dried up things on the inside, shots aren't falling on the outside.
Now George goes to the rim and a two-handed stop.
The value of the 3 and the restricted area 2s for Houston.
George splashes home. A step